Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad Resells. I'm Natalie and I'm a full-time reseller, and in today's video I'll be going over the 6 things I wish I knew before I started reselling. So let's get into it. So I have been reselling for 3 years now, 2 years full-time, and over those 3 years I have learned so much that I definitely wish I knew before I started reselling, because reselling is a knowledge game. The more you know, the more you'll be able to sell, because you know what to pick up, what not to pick up, how much to sell things for, etc, etc. So starting with number 1, how to look up items on eBay. This includes how to look up the actual item in terms of what they sell for, and also sell-through rate, aka what's the ratio between the sold listings and the available listings, because that's really important in terms of how quickly an item will sell. What you do is you type in what the item is, including the brand and what category it is. By category, I mean, is it a t-shirt? Is it a pair of pants? Is it shoes? Be specific, but not too specific. You type that in on eBay and you click search and see what pops up. That's gonna be all of the available listings. You can just scroll down. You can even filter this and choose size, color. So now you can see what the items are listed for. But what an item is listed for and what it sells for can be 2 very different things. So when we look at comps, we don't look at what they're listed for. For example, I can take this scissor, I can take pictures of it and list it on eBay, and I'll go, you know, stainless scissors. I don't know the brand, so I can't put that in. And I can list it for $200. Is it worth $200? No, but I can list it for it, but it's not gonna sell for that. It might sell for, I don't know, $2. So how do you get to the sold listings? You go to the filter section and you scroll down until you see sold listings. You click that, and now you'll see what those particular items sold for. So this is the way more important section of eBay, but I talked about sell-through rate too. How quickly an item you could expect to sell and how the demand is for that item. The higher the sell-through rate, the better. The higher the sell-through rate equals higher demand. So you see the amount of sold listings, and then when you compare that to the available listings, you'll see what type of demand and supply ratio there is. The higher the sold number versus the number of the available listings, the better. Whenever you see a sold amount being bigger than the available amount, it's an item you should most likely pick up, because there's a higher demand than there is supply for it. So by using this strategy and finding and comparing all of these sold versus available listings, we have found so many BOLO brands, aka be on the lookout for brands, because we've seen the sell-through rate is high. There's a high demand for it. The second thing that I wish I knew was the importance of keeping track of your inventory. Basically, write down exactly what you buy, how much you pay for it, the date, and then also when it sells, you put that in too, and that way you know exactly what your expenses are, how much you pay for shipping, and how much you actually made in profit. I will also add, you need to write down everything you buy for your business. So supplies, poly mailers to ship things in, shelves to keep your inventory in, bins if you want to do the bin storage for your inventory, a thermal printer. Anything you buy for your business, you should write that down. Keep the receipt, because these are tax deductibles at the end of the year, and you definitely want to be on top of that. Also, speaking of inventory, it's definitely important to organize your inventory in a smart way. We started off with just putting them in, like, we had clothes in the beginning, just clothes, and we would just put them in trash bags, and that was how we organized things. And we would just have to remember, okay, which trash bag did we put this clothing in? So stupid, I don't know, it didn't make sense, so I don't know why we did that. All right, the third thing that I wish I knew before I started reselling: actual reselling BOLO brands. BOLO brands is be on the lookout for brands. Basically, these brands sell, and in our heads, what we thought we knew, oh well, this brand is expensive new, it must have a high resale value is inaccurate, okay? Just because something sells for over $100 new doesn't mean that it's actually worth the pickup to resell. So discovering BOLO brands, which you do by researching, and nobody likes researching, but with reselling, it's a very major part. So you can research through Googling, or you can research through YouTube videos, or by just being at the thrift and looking them up on eBay, which I just explained to you how to do. And that's how you learn, oh wow, this is a good brand to be on the lookout for. I would say over 90% of the brands that we pick up, we had no knowledge of before we started reselling. Also, speaking of BOLO brands, different categories, pants, top, outerwear, shoes, have a different resale value within the same brand. So maybe the pants sell well, but the t-shirts don't. So just because it's a BOLO brand doesn't mean that every category within that BOLO brand sells as well. All right, the fourth thing that I wish I knew before I started reselling was how to create a clean background using a very simple app called Photo Room. Now I'm sure there's many other apps you can use too, but we use Photo Room. But what we did in the beginning, I would just basically brighten up the photos so the background was brightened up, but while doing so, none of my photos were identical in terms of the background. It would be slightly different, all of them. When I started with Photo Room, I realized, oh my god, it's just a click of a button, and now they got the exact same background. It's an app where you just upload the photo, it scans your photo, and it automatically applies background of your choosing, and you can choose between so many different colors, even patterns. We have chosen to go for an off-white color. It is a free app, but if you upgrade it, you can do batches, meaning multiple photos, and then once you click on one background, it will apply that background to all of the photos instead of going in one by one. But I do recommend start with just the free version of it, see how you like it, and then if you want to keep using it and you want it to be just more convenient, then upgrade. The fifth thing that I wish I knew was that there are way more sourcing opportunities than just your nearest Goodwill. Yes, there are other thrift stores, you know, Salvation Army, local thrift stores, but I'm talking other sourcing opportunities. I'm talking yard sales, estate sales, rummage sales, the Goodwill bins / outlet, whatever you want to call it, or wholesale. Way more opportunities than just Goodwill. Especially in a lot of cities, Goodwill is way overpriced. We were in Philly for about a week and the prices were just honestly disgusting. When you have to pay $10 for a pair of jeans instead of $5.99 like we do, that matters. Cost of goods matters. And that's why it's so important to know of these other options. And finally, the sixth thing that I wish I knew before I started reselling, not being scared of Poshmark's 20% fees. So every platform has a fee. Normally it's around 10%, way lower than Poshmark's 20%. That number scared us. We're like, we're never going on Poshmark. It's way too expensive. A year goes by before we try it. And just to give you a perspective, so we've been reselling for 3 years. We've had eBay, Depop, and Mercari for 3 years. Poshmark, we started 1 year later, so we've had it for 2 years. Our total sales, we have 1,700 sold on eBay, just over 500 on Mercari, just over 2,000 on Depop, and 1,100 on Poshmark. So, in terms of sales per year, eBay, Poshmark, and Depop are roughly the same, and then Mercari is like the bottom. Basically, Poshmark is one of our better platforms, and we took a whole year to start with it because they took 20%. I would say the price point of what we sell is much higher on Poshmark than the other platforms, so it makes up for the 20%. So yes, we do price everything up a few dollars on Poshmark to compensate for the higher percentage fee. And that sums up the 6 things that I wish I knew before I started reselling. It's definitely been a journey. Let me know in the comments what were some things that you wish you knew before you started reselling, or if you just started reselling or planning on reselling. If you have any questions, write it in the comments. Whenever we see them, we'll reply right away. As always, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.